All right, what's up, everyone? Trevor here, Tag Performance and Nutrition, and today I am just going to let me fix this camera first and get the good lighting in here. But today I just want to talk about something I always hear from people. I'm working out constantly, consistently, but I'm still not seeing the results that I want to see. And today I want to get into why you are not seeing the results you want to see. So, a lot of people, they say they're consistent, they're in the gym working out, whatever their split is, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, upper, lower, whatever it may be, full body. I'm not going to get into the splits, but say you're consistent in your workouts. You're getting your workouts in, but you're still not seeing the results you want to see. You're not building that lean, athletic body that ultimately you want to get. So why might this be? Well, let's look at it first. Say you want to lose some excess pounds, lose some excess body fat, and you're using exercise as your main form of calorie burning calories. And that's just not the thing. You can't do that. You can't exercise. When you train, you should train to build strength, build muscle, build power. That's what the strength training comes from. That's what you should be doing in the gym. If you're looking to burn some lose fat or add muscle, that's going to come more from your nutrition, from your sleep, from your stress management. That's going to affect the fat loss more than it is if you are looking to, if you're just thinking exercise, more and more exercise is the only way or the main way that you're using to burn calories. That's not going to happen. That's not what you should think. You should use your diet, your nutrition plan, your sleep, your stress management, recovery. That's where the calorie burn is going to come more from rather than training. When you're training, focus on strength training, focus on building strength, building muscle, building power in the gym, rather than thinking of it as your fat loss is in the gym and your training. So the right exercises, like I said, they're going to help you maintain muscle, because ultimately, if you are trying to build a lean, athletic body, you want to build muscle and you want to strip your body of that excess fat, and you want to maintain that muscle. So you have to strength train, you have to lift to build strength, to build muscle, rather than just work out to burn calories, because that's not a good way to go. It's not going to get you where you want to be. That's probably one of the main reasons why you're stuck right now. Another reason or another thing you're thinking of is you think that training or exercise has to just get you out of breath. You're always training to be tired or be sore. And that's just not what you can think. You can't, you got to get tired. You're going to get sore sometimes. But if you're only training to get out of breath, then you're doing something wrong, because there's got to be another point to it. Just being breathless, anyone can get you tired. You can go run around with the kids, they can get you tired for a while. So, but if that's the only judgment of how your workout's going, is if you're tired, you're out of breath, or you're sweaty, that's not the best way to go. You got to strength train, get the muscles, work the muscles out, build muscle, build strength, build power in the gym. And then, you'll get tired sometimes, but if that's your judge of why you're not seeing results, then, or what your goal of training is just to lose or be breathless or be tired, then that's not going to be a good judge of your training overall. You're ultimately not going to see the results, and that's probably another reason why you're stuck. And then another thing you have to look at is just your consistency overall, if you are truly being consistent, because ultimately consistency is huge. You have to be consistent in anything you do if you want it to become ultimately a habit, a behavior for the rest of your life. So strength training, you got to have a good routine. It can't just be 1 week you're going 4 days a week this week, and then the next week you're down to 1 day. And you're skipping days and things like that. You're skipping meals. You can't do that. You gotta be consistent, build a routine that works for your lifestyle. It's gonna be different for everyone. Not everyone is going to train 5 days a week, 4 days a week. Personally, I do something every day of the week. Not lifting heavy every day of the week. I think everyone should do something every day of the week, whether that's even just get up and go for a walk, play with the kids, whatever it may be. Do something active. Do something that is going to get you moving, because as a society, we are too lazy. We sit too much as it is, whether it's our jobs, whether it's just sitting watching Netflix, whether it's sitting on the computer. If you're watching this on social media, we're doing that too much. So get up, move, do something active every time or every day of the week. That's a goal. That should be a minimum, I think. Do something active every day. And like I said, it doesn't have to be intense. You don't want to go high intensity every day. Your body can't handle that. So think maybe depending on what your goals are, what you're looking to do, a couple high intensity days and a lot of low intensity days. Just walking, just doing some low intensity conditioning, whatever it may be, whatever that floats your boat. Yoga, walking, jogging. Although I'm not a big jogging fan, something like that. So do whatever it is, but do something active and be consistent with it. Don't skip days. Don't skip meals. You got to be consistent. That's ultimately take a look, kind of step back, and you think you're consistent, but actually take a look and see and make sure you're consistent, and look back and make sure everything is there and you're actually doing what you say you're doing, and you're not just kind of putting in a half-ass effort there that way. So another one is you think you gotta confuse your muscles. You got to change everything up all the time. You're just doing random stuff, like a lot of those CrossFit workouts, and you go to the gym with no plan. You're just randomly doing things all the time. You don't have a actual training program or training plan. You just work out. You just go, see something, I'll do this today, I'll do that tomorrow. And you got to have a plan. Muscle confusion is not a real thing. It's not. If you're confusing your muscles, you're just going to confuse yourself, because you can't confuse your muscles. Your muscles need to do the same basic movement patterns over and over again to build the muscle, build strength, get good at them, build the best form you can do. So you don't want to be changing everything up and doing something different every day or every workout. It's just a lot of crap, and you're not going to confuse your muscles. It's not going to make your muscles grow. What's going to make them grow is tension, progressively overloading, eating more, and just rest and recovery. That's going to make your muscles grow rather than changing up an exercise. Yeah, you can use variations. That's good. That's no problem. But if you're just randomly throwing together stuff and doing something different because you think you're confusing your muscles, that's not gonna help, and that's why you're not seeing results that you want. So, and that kind of goes into like with that also, like you're trying to just entertain yourself. And Jade Teta spoke about this, and I'm kind of going off one of his posts and expanding on that you're wanting to be entertaining. You want to do something different, like the CrossFit, where you're doing something different every day. There's no structure to the plan. There's no built-in program where you're progressively overloading a week, or different rep schemes to get you where you want to be, whatever your goals are. Or you don't have a goal. You're just doing stuff to do stuff to look cool on Instagram or Facebook, or try the latest exercise that has nothing, no meaning, nothing that's actually going to get you where you want to be. You have to have a structured plan that progresses over time. Yeah, that plan can change. That's why you always write your plans in pencil, not pen, because things can change. You adapt, your body adapts. You might need to change it up, but you're not constantly changing everything up and just doing a bunch of random crap thinking you're going to get to where you want to be, because that's ultimately just going to get you where you're at right now, and that's not seeing results. That's not being where you want to be. That's being overweight, out of shape, lazy, tired all the time. So you got to have a structured program, a structured plan that is going to get you where you want to be, progressively overloading. And that progressive overloading can be adding more weight each week, doing more reps at a certain weight, executing those reps in better form. Those are all good ways of progressive overloading. So you got to look at your progress in different ways. So not just adding strength, because you're not going to always be able to add 5-10 pounds every week to a lift. If we did, we'd all be benching 1,000 pounds and pulling 2,000 pounds. You hit a wall, you hit a plateau, and as you get more experienced, it gets tougher and tougher to progressively add weight each time. But little by little, consistency, building that strength, building that power, building that muscle in the gym, that's what's going to get you there. And don't fall for the muscle confusion thing. That's not a real thing. And don't fall for just doing something random all the time, because that's not going to get you the best everywhere or get you where you want to be. And that's ultimately probably one of the reasons why you are stuck right now, why you're watching this video, because you do not have an actual plan. You're just doing random stuff. You're just working out. You're not actually training. So then getting into training more, kind of how you're training, and you're doing maybe you're probably just doing like the bro split, where you're just working on isolating body parts like bicep curls. You're working on the mirror muscles. You're not actually focusing on the big compound movements, the big compound lifts. So your squats, your hip hinges, your pushes, your pulls, your single leg lunging, and then loaded carries. So those are 6 movement patterns you should be doing, and they should be in all of your programs. The variations are going to be different for everyone. Find variations that you can do, that you can progressively overload each week or each month or each phase of whatever you're doing, and be able to do those pain-free. So you don't have to necessarily straight bar deadlift. You don't have to necessarily throw a barbell on your back. You don't have to straight bar bench press. But you should be doing some of those movement patterns, the pushes, the pulls, hip hinges, squats, like I mentioned. You should be doing those. The big compound movements, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Not the bicep curls, not the tricep. Yeah, those little accessory things, those can help, but those should not be the focus. You should not just be focusing on single body weight. I prefer people do either, I think the best way to do it is either a full body split, so full body every other day, upper lower split, so upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, or a push pull legs. Those are probably the 3 best that I recommend for most people, depending on, again, what fits your lifestyle, what you can be consistent with. And those are going to ultimately help you make the biggest changes, is doing those different rep ranges, working on strength, working on power, working on muscle, building these up in the gym. So ultimately it's going to help you look better, feel better, get more athletic, move better, and just live life pain-free. Because ultimately you should not be training through pain. There's a difference between pain and soreness. So that's that with the actual training program. Don't focus on these small little tiny isolation exercises all the time. Focus on your program should be built around big compound movements. Again, the squat, hip hinge, push, pull, vertical and horizontal for both of those. Single leg, so lunging, single leg squats, that stuff, and then loaded carries or locomotion, so like sprinting, things like that. So those are what those should be the big rocks of your training. Then, yeah, if you want to throw in a few bicep, I mean, who doesn't like bicep curls, triceps, get the guns looking a little pumped there, especially with spring and summer coming up. That's fine, but that should not be the focus of your program. You're going to get just the good as bicep pump with different rowing variations, chin-ups, things like that. So focus on the big compound movement patterns, and that's going to get you the best bang for your buck in your training. So if you're just focusing on the isolation, the body part splits all the time, that's maybe you need some powder puffy muscles, the mirror muscles, but you got to focus on that. Oh, and then I forgot, hit the posterior chain. Again, hinging is going to do a lot of that. So you got to hit the posterior chain. So your backside, your butt, your hamstrings, and these big movements, squats, hip hinges, rows, that's going to help that, rather than just always doing stuff from the front of your body, your abs, your pecs, your biceps, so the stuff you look in the mirror. So focus on the posterior chain as well. Let's see. Why else are you not seeing results? Another one is just that you're in too many group classes. Group classes, yeah, if that's something you like, do that. But these so-called high-intensity interval training classes, where everyone is doing the exact same thing every day, you're not adjusting, you're not getting something individualized to you and to your specific needs, and your body and your lifestyle. You're just going, like, this goes back into the getting sweaty, the getting tired all the time. Yeah, if you want to do that once a week or so, that's fine. If you enjoy it, it's something to do. I mean, it's better than sitting on the couch, I guess, but it's also holding you back from building a lean, athletic, muscular body, because all you're doing is getting tired for the most part. You're not necessarily doing, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's some great ones. There's ones that are well coached and do that, but the majority of them, cycling classes and stuff like that, it's a lot of just go hard. As they think you're going high intensity, but you can't. Your body can't go high intensity for more than 12 seconds at the most, maybe 15 if you're like an elite athlete. And they call it high intensity training. You're not resting. You're just going balls to the wall, take 5 seconds rest, and then doing it again. That's not high intensity training. That's just going intervals and just burning yourself out. And that's gonna, combining that with all of the rest of the stresses you probably have in your life, work, school, family life, whatever it is, you can't just keep piling all this stress and stress and stress on and expect to see results. That's also going to lead to burnout, going to lead to fatigue, and you're probably just going to end up giving it up, quitting altogether once you're burned out that way. So you got to vary the range of intensity, like I mentioned before. Have a couple high intensity days, sprinting, lifting, jumping, throwing, things like that, and then low intensity days where you're just getting some mobility, doing some recovery work, breathing work, all that stuff, low intensity conditioning, pushing a sled, a light sled, jumping rope, something like that, that you're not just going balls to the wall every day, because that's ultimately going to leave you burnout. And these group classes do a lot of that, and doing cardio all the time. So you see, when you go to the gym and you see the people who are always just run on a treadmill, and then you go in a year later and you see them and they look exactly the same. That's because they're not putting in time building strength, building muscle, building power, lifting actual weights. That's the people you see doing those things. You see the ones that are changed the most. Combining the strength training with what I'm going to get into next. And that is, so actually, yeah, stop doing so much. You don't need to do a ton of cardio. You don't need to do all these group cardio classes. If you want to do them a few times, yeah, that's fine. And if you enjoy them, good, that's great. But ultimately, if you want to see the changes to build a lean, athletic, muscular, energetic body, you don't need that stuff. You need strength training. You need sprinting. Some conditioning can help varying on what to do, and you need to walk. You need to move. So those are the basic things. And then you also need to eat right. Nutrition is key, especially if you're looking to lose body fat. Like I mentioned at the beginning, nutrition and sleep play a bigger factor in actually losing body fat than your exercising is going to. So focus on that. What is eat right? It's going to be different for everyone. Obviously, I like to say eat high protein, eat carbs, eat fats, get your fiber in. So proteins coming from lean meats, eggs, dairy if you tolerate it. Again, this is all generalized, but individually, everyone's going to be a little bit different depending on what they tolerate, what they like to eat, what they don't like to eat, that type of thing. But carbs, no, carbs are not bad. Carbs are great for you. It's just carbs get a bad rap because most people think of carbs as things like cake and cookies and pizza. Yeah, that's carbs, but those are highly processed. There's a lot of junk in there. Yeah, they're good. I like to eat them, but that's not the majority of my nutrition plan. The majority of my nutrition plan when it comes to carbs is things like sweet potatoes, yams, regular potatoes, rice, white rice. I prefer white rice just because I don't digest brown rice as well. Fruits, obviously all kinds of fruits. I love fruits. Vegetables. So those are beans. Those would be the main carbohydrate source. Whole grains, I guess. Oatmeal, I guess that's a big one. I always forget to mention that, but oats, oatmeal, those are probably the main carbohydrate sources I eat. And again, those are whole, real foods. They're not boxed and bagged and all that stuff. Yeah, you buy some of them in a bag, obviously, but they're not overly processed. And yes, every food is processed to some degree. You gotta kill an animal to eat it. That's part of a process. You gotta pick the apple out of the tree. That's a process. but again, they're not overly processed. You're eating whole real foods. When it comes to fats, think of like avocados, olive oil, avocado oil, whole natural nut butters, seeds, nuts, olives, butter. Grass-fed butter is good. So those are good fats. Because don't be singling out or neglecting any one whole group. Like if you're going keto or any of these other stupid fad diets, if they work for you, they work for you. But look for something that's going to be high protein. Balance your carbs and fats to what works best for you. And if you need help with that, reach out. I'd love to help you out with that. So eat right. Again, fiber. You got to get fiber. You got a lot of the training looking right comes from digestion. So you got to have some fiber in your system. You get that from fruits and vegetables, carbs. So that's where your fiber. So if you're not eating carbs, you're probably not going to be getting enough fiber. So, and you're probably not going to be pooping well if you don't get enough fiber and things like that. And all the other minerals and vitamins that you can get from food. Don't rely on supplements to get you can get everything you need from food for the most part. Maybe some vitamin D, supplementation, magnesium. If you're low on anything, get your blood work done, get that checked out, and you might need to supplement with something that you're deficient in. But for the most part, you can get everything you need from real food, from getting outside, getting sunlight, things like that. So, sleep. Are you sleeping? Sleep is probably the most neglected thing. We think we can go on like 3-4 hours of sleep. Stay up all night watching Netflix, stay up all night playing video games. And yeah, I like to do those. I like to, not Netflix, I don't have Netflix, but I like to stay up video games. I like to stay up and watch wrestling. But make sure you have a set routine. Get to bed on time. There's no need to stay up super late unless you have an overnight job or whatever. But find a routine, get into a habit of going to sleep at this certain time. Winding down before that time. Don't be doing something super where your heart rate's racing up and getting out of breath and stuff like that before you're going to bed. Find a time to cool down, maybe an hour or so, half hour or so before. Do some breath work. Find a night routine. Read. Just do something calming before you sleep. Then keep your bedroom cool, dark, cool and dark. Have the only thing in your bedroom you should be doing is bed and sex. Nothing else. Keep all electronics out of there. Turn off your electronics before, half hour before bed. I know I've been there too where you're up working right before bed, but do the best you can on that. And then get to sleep. And then have a morning routine as well where you're getting up at the same time. You don't need to be mixing it up because just going like sleeping in on the weekends and stuff like that, or staying up later on the weekends sleeping in, because that just screws you up and gets you out of a routine. I think from personal experience, having a routine, especially when it comes to sleep, is huge because your body gets used to it, your clock gets used to it, and you get ready to where you're not even relying on an alarm clock to wake up. You wake up at the same time every day, or even before the time you need to, and then you get up, you're ready to go. You have more energy because you're sleeping well, and you're able to go crush your training session. You're able to crush your meals for the day. You're just prepared. You're ready to go, and it just makes everything so much easier if you're not neglecting sleep. So sleep is another thing you have to do if you want to see this lean athletic body. Then stress management. Like I've mentioned before, think of stress as a cup or a bucket. You don't want to overfill that. Everything in life we do is a stress. Training, eating, work, family, school, whatever it may be, everything is stress. There's good stressors, bad stresses, and you're not always going to be doing, your body can't tell the difference between what's good and what's bad. So you got to manage that. Like I said, you don't want to go high intensity all the time because that's going to overfill your glass. You're going to be worn out. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be drained. So manage your stress. Do some recovery work. Learn how to breathe properly. So deep inhales in, exhales out. Breathe through the nose as much as possible. Nasal breathing. Don't want to get into too much of that, but work on stress management. That's a huge thing. And maybe the final thing I want to talk about, I don't know, did I mention? Yeah, I mentioned compound lifts. So lift big weights, eat right. Then we want to get into your mind. Your mindset is huge. One of the reasons you're probably not seeing results is you're making all these stupid excuses. You're skipping workouts for random reasons. Oh, I'm too sore. You can always, just because you're sore doesn't mean you skip workouts. You skip meals. You gotta do this stuff, and that most of this is coming from your mind. You're making all these stupid excuses of why you can't do something. Why? Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I can't do this because I'm sore. Oh, I'm too busy. Nah, that's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of stuff that's going on in your head. We're all busy. We all have stuff going on. But if something's important to you, you prioritize it. You make time for it. You put it on your schedule and you get it done. You stop making excuses and telling yourself this, because you gotta stop being soft in this way. You gotta start actually getting after it, because you're all in your mind. It's that little voice inside your head telling you you can't do something, or this is gonna be hard. Of course it's gonna be hard. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So just do it. Stop making excuses. Stop whining. Stop complaining. Stop focusing on all this negative crap that's going on in the world. Just get out and do something. Do the work. Put the work in and you will see results. And that will get you to where you want to be. So you got to get, when it's that little voice, and I have it too, the mental mind effery that's going on in your head is telling you what you can and can't do. Most of the time it's always negative. But then you got to flick that off, get rid of it, stomp out those limiting beliefs, and actually start putting those positive thoughts into your mind, and then you'll start seeing the results that you want to see, rather than just focusing on that stupid little voice that's always popping up and saying, oh, you can't do this, oh, that's going to be hard. It'd be so much easier if you just sit around and watch Netflix all day. No, get it. You have time to do this stuff. You just got to prioritize it. Make it a priority in your life to train, to eat right, to sleep, to manage your stress, to recover, to move, and you'll be so much better off for it. And the final, I know I said that was the final, but this is actually the final, and that is that you have to have patience. You have to take action right away, so you have to be quick to take action. Just jump on it. Don't think about taking action. Just do something. But you actually have to have patience in achieving your goals, because too often or not, I've been there before, you're jumping programs, you're switching programs all the time, you're switching nutrition plans all the time, you're trying too much new stuff rather than sitting back and being patient and allowing things to actually take time to work, because a week is not enough time to see if something's working, especially if it's nutrition. Think of 2 to 3 weeks at minimum to see if something's working. Whether it's you're eating this amount of calories and you think, oh, this isn't working, I'm not. Give your body time to adjust and to adapt and get used to that. You got to be patient. It's a long process. These 30-day programs, 20-day fixes, whatever, cleanses, that crap doesn't work. It's just marketing stuff to take your money. You need to have a long-term program that has an end goal in mind, but ultimately, through that end goal, you need to work on smaller behavioral goals that are ultimately going to help you get to that goal. So whether it's a weight loss goal, a fat loss goal, or muscle building goal, or just a squat goal or something, a PR, something like that. You have that goal in mind, that maybe it's a number or something, but you have to work on these behavioral goals in between to ultimately get you there, because that's what's going to change you. It's building these habits, building these behaviors that are not just short-term, they're long-term. You need to do this stuff for the rest of your life. That's ultimately what you want to be doing. That's what you should be doing. That's what I focus on with my coaching. It's not about a quick fix. Sure, I could probably make up these slogans like lose 10 pounds of fat in 10 days, and maybe I'll get some people to sign up. But that's not what I'm about. I'm about long-term, playing the long game, building these habits and behaviors that are going to be with you for the rest of your life, so you can live your best life going forward, and not just trying to steal your money and give you this 10-day fix. If I want to do that, I'd just tell you to cut off an arm or a leg, and you lose a lot of weight that way. So there's tons of different ways to do it. Everyone's going to be different. And I guess I keep saying my final thought, my final point, along with being patient, is that you don't have someone holding you accountable. You don't have a coach. and investing in a coach is a great way to do this. If that's me, I'd be love to work with you. So in the comments, comment below that you are ready. We'll schedule a free discovery call. Get that on the schedule. Do it soon because I don't have a ton of openings left this week. My schedule's pretty booked, but I can fit you in. I'll fit you in somewhere. So schedule with right below with discovery call underneath once this video is posted or right now, and we'll get that discovery call scheduled and see if you are fit. Work with me and see. We'll get into your background. We'll kind of get into your history, what you're looking for, what your goals are, and see if we'd be a good fit. So ultimately, again, it's not a short-term fix. I'm not about the quick fixes because that stuff doesn't work. If it did, everyone would be having a lean, shredded body or whatever their goals are. But like I said, that doesn't work, and that's not what I'm about. So if you want to skyrocket your energy, build that lean, athletic, energetic body that you've been looking for so that you can live life pain-free and be a good role model for your family and friends, then comment below with discovery call, and we'll get you booked for a discovery call and get talking and see if you're a good fit. Work with me. Other than that, you guys have a great night. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always open. Send me a DM, comment, whatever it may be, and we'll be in touch. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.